I'm going to start directly our Beyond 5G technologies in OdinS's. First of all, let me try. No, first of all, just to give a little bit of context, although you all know us. OdinS's at the end started as a manufacturing of open and interoperable IoT hardware devices. That's part of our main business, and also the development of software platforms with open data and protocols. But we, in the last years, we have diverse into another technologies like IoT, edge devices, 5G, AI, digital twin, trusted data spaces, or cybersecurity, privacy, and security at the end. So in this way, during these last years, we've been part of different projects related to this, and also we are involved in new projects that started a few months ago that are related more with the 5G and beyond 5G technologies, even with the 6G, let's say, word in them. So, sorry. What I'm going to present is the Beyond 5G projects in which we are involved, because that's would be our alignment for Beyond 5G technologies with some hints on what we are doing. Also, our next development, let's say, in a hardware line that we are starting to work on with, that is our far edge 5G device, 5G Plus. And finally, I will end with our security and privacy future lines that we are currently starting working on them, or even starting to think about them. So we expect to start with them in the next months. So that would be, let's say, the involvement with the possible collaborations or possible potential beyond 5G technologies for the projects. So starting with these are Mass4Care, Agro 60 Cents, Prometeo 60, and Smatra 5G are our current Beyond 5G projects in which we are involved. So I will go briefly through them, so I can showcase what we are working on and the things related completely with Beyond 5G. So first, we have Mass4Care and Agro 60 Cents that are very similar. In this project, we are working with MasOrange, that it's the biggest, currently is the biggest operator in Spain in terms of the number of clients. So this is a direct collaboration with them. And well, at the end, what we are doing here is the deployment and orchestration of these virtual network functions with different behaviors to manage medical sensors and devices. We collaborate with different hospitals and different companies that are related to this field. And the idea is to create a telemedicine digital platform to leverage these 5G plus capabilities. The idea at the end is to obtain high availability of medical services, low latency to process this medical data with 5G plus capabilities, securing this data, and also have processing, let's say, computing capabilities along all the continuum, from the IoT, from the end device to the far edge. I will later explain a little bit more this concept, to the edge and the cloud. And as a part of this, we are also working on the design and deployment of a far edge 5G plus device that will be part of this project. So this would be, let me, 1 second. Here, let me explain the architecture in which we have all the platform where we have our 5G plus connectivity with the edge computing, the far edge, and we have some orchestration of everything. So concretely, I will go briefly through this. This just to have the example. We have the patient. The patient is enrolled in the service, and they have this medical kit that is installed in their houses, so we can have a live, let's say, monitoring of their conditions, and we can perform some analytics on them. That would be like the context, the medical context, and then we have the architecture that we are developing. As I said, this is a project that is currently national project that it's currently developing. So we have in the house of the patient, we have these medical sensors, different kind of them, and we have all of them being gathered in a device, in a tablet. For now, it's, for example, a tablet. And then we have the authentication platform with all the data gathering that it's located in this FarEdge 5G plus device that gather all the information and it's capable of perform some analytics. From there, we have, thanks to the 5G plus capabilities, we have this MEC in which we have some MEC device in the edge that is capable also of gathering this data, perform some distributed processing. It can also do analytics, optimization of some, for example, video processing for the video calls with the doctors and so on. And also it can host different services and different behaviors so we can expand in the future its capabilities. And then we have the connection with the rest of the platform and with the telemedicine use cases and so on. So the idea here is to have these two devices, the FarEdge 5G that it's located in the closest point to the user that can perform some data gathering and also early data analytics to see if we have to generate any kind of alert because of the medical condition. And also the next, let's say, layer in which we have this MEC that can provide more powerful capabilities because the hardware at the end would be with a high-end hardware. So from that would be our current work in that project. Then we have the Agro 6G Sense that it's, let's say, it just started some weeks ago, and the idea is mostly the same. They are going to be like parallel projects in which we are also work on these kind of solutions, but applied to the agriculture vertical with sensors and devices. At the end, it's virtual network functions to manage this kind of vertical, to leveraging the 5G plus and 6G capabilities to have high availability, obtain low latency with some network slicing and network orchestration, securing the gathered data and this processing along the whole continuum, as I just mentioned, and we are also working with the FarEdge 5G plus device. This is the existing OdinS's agriculture, let's say, platform to monitor everything, control all the actuators, all the sensors, etc. So the idea in this, in the other project, we have this medical platform, and here we have this agriculture platform. So the idea is to integrate all the sensoring, all the data gathering at the same line, in the same line as the other project, with this again FarEdge 5G plus device that would be near all the fields and the crops and so on, so we can have this distributed processing, AI components to assess the status of these fields and see if any action is needed in real time and early, let's say, reaction. Also the capability to run other services in them, and the next layer that would be this MEC with more data gathering, more powerful capabilities to run more complex AI algorithms, and also this distributed processing, and then the rest of the infrastructure, as we say, and the connection with the OdinS's, let's say, existing platform to control everything. So these two projects are aligned in this sense. We believe that the more innovative thing, let's say, is this FarEdge 5G plus device that can be located near the users, let's say, or the end devices, and it can process, make early processing, distributed computing, and some other things, and it also can be orchestrated from the cloud or from external entities. Then moving on to another one, we have Prometheus 6C. This is also a national project developed by OdinS. At the end, this one is we change a little bit the concept, and here we want to offer the SMEs the ability to use 5G and leverage 5G plus 6G network applications to improve their capabilities. So at the end, these technologies have a steep, let's say, learning curve. So for SMEs or SMEs center in certain verticals, it's difficult to let's say, acquire this knowledge and start developing this kind of applications or adapt their existing applications to use these capabilities. So the idea is to create a platform for the easy deployment and validation of these applications as an entry point for the newcomers. And then this platform will have smart management of multi-domain experimental infrastructures, automatic end-to-end deployment and orchestration with AA, ML, or zero-touch capabilities. It will be showcased with automotive and agriculture network applications, and we plan to collaborate with local SMEs. We also have this monitoring and data gathering platform to feed this orchestration, management, and decision-making capabilities. Here it's a showcase of the architecture we plan to deploy, in which on the top we have this intelligent plane for the orchestration, management, and decision making, where we have this intelligence and the orchestration of the deployment, where we will deploy the different application, the different components, and we will also have a CI/CD reactive framework that will be capable of validate this deployment and the operation of the network application, so it would be easier for the newcomers, for the developers, to see if they are working well, if they are interacting well with the 5G or 6G network, and it will generate automatic logs, so they can see what is happening and if they are doing things correctly. So the only thing that they have to do is to upload, let's say, the code, and it will be automatically validated, deployed, tested, stress tested, tested the interaction with the network, and it will give back the feedback so they can see if everything is working well. Obviously, in different domains with all the resources, and with a continuous monitoring and analysis of the data to see what's happening. In these projects, we are using OpenSlice as orchestrator and open source Maino as the Maino. And our virtual infrastructure managers would be Kubernetes and OpenStack. So this is also a project that is ongoing, and we are leveraging these capabilities to make these automated deployments with the validation of the different network applications. And then we have Smatra 5G, in which this is I think it's a small project in which we are we used to have a virtual LOBU, a virtual onboard unit that was part of a project we did a couple of years ago, in which we developed a vehicle digital twin of the OBU, the onboard unit that is present in the physical vehicle. We developed a digital twin of that component. So the idea is that this digital twin of the vehicle is located on the MEC, on the edge of the network, and it follows the vehicle from domain to domain. So what are the advantages of this technology, of this solution? Well, the first one is that we try to avoid the typical disconnections of the 5G, the 5G network, not of the vehicular scenarios where at the end all the vehicles are moving. We suffer from these disconnections, these latency, let's say, fluctuations. So the idea is to have this digital twin as an intermediate cache layer, we can call it, in which we will try to have the most updated data from the physical vehicle. So the applications that are consuming this data, that are monitoring the status of the vehicle, don't need to go directly to the vehicle, but they can, in most of the cases, just go to this intermediate layer and get the latest update of that data. So we will improve the latency, and we will improve the performance, the overall performance of the system. It will also have some task offloading capabilities, so we can leave the vehicle to do the important things related to maybe, for example, autonomous driving, or some data analytics to see if everything is going well in the environment. So it can offload certain tasks. For example, you can imagine you can think of video processing that can be moved to this digital twin and to the edge, in which we will have, of course, more powerful devices, more powerful hardware than the one that is present in the vehicle, and we can leave the vehicle to do the important things, the crucial things, and critical things that are needed to this operation. Also, as we know, in this case, we have the typical disconnections, and these digital twins also will have the capability to follow the vehicle from one domain to another as the vehicle is moving, so we can maintain this the lowest possible latency. For example, you may think of a motorway in which the vehicle is moving from one place to another, and it is connecting from one cell to the next one along the path. So the idea would be that this digital twin is able to migrate from the closest location to those cells, so we can maintain these quality of service levels in a seamless way, so the services are not aware of these migrations. In this project, we are also trying to integrate everything with 5G capabilities. For example, we will work on the integration of this application with CAPIF, and it will be showcased in the university, the Polytechnical University of Valencia, here in the eastern side of Spain, with their 5G SA testbed, so we can showcase the development I just mentioned. Here, for example, you can see an example of what I was mentioning, in which we have the facility in Valencia, we have also the MEC, and we have the vehicle here in this place. So we have the UE connected to the 5G network, then we have the MEC, and then we have the core network. So the virtual OBU, the digital twin, will be present in the MEC, and it will interact with the physical OBU that is running here through this, let's say, we call it this application, the end user application of the virtual OBU. So we will have this low latency 5G connection with data caching here. Well, we will also have some data caching in the cloud, so any entity interested on the vehicle information will request this information, and we will go through the different cache layers, so we can leverage these capabilities and obtain the latest information possible from the vehicle. Obviously, in the worst case scenario, if the data we want is not updated enough or is not present, the request will have to end in the vehicle. But well, that's the worst case scenario, so we plan to optimize the other cases. And this would be the general overview of this. Then we have, as I was mentioned, that are the projects in which we are involved. And then, as I mentioned, in Mass4Care and Agro6G Sense, in the two first projects, and probably in another ones that are currently in the process or being, let's say, requested or being proposed, we are evolving one of our products to become it, to adapt it to the 5G plus scenario. And this is as you can see here, the IoT connector that, as I said, initially we started more in the IoT, exclusively in the IoT sector, but now we are open it. So this IoT connector was just designed at the beginning to be this near the user or near the end equipment thing to interconnect everything and bring everything together and send all the data up in the architecture. And well, this is a simple hardware, as you can see, with just 4 cores, 1 gig of RAM. It has multiplexed ADC with 3 status LED. It uses MQTT, Mosquito, as to communicate everything. And we have some in and out interfaces, so we can provide it all the flexibility possible, either to connect it to our typical ways of connecting with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Ethernet, or USB, but also it has Canvas and RS-232 and 485 to connect other kind of devices. So we can have flexibility to do, let's say, whatever we can, wherever we can, wherever we want, sorry. And interconnect all kind of sensors, devices, and everything. So as I mentioned, that would be the basis of everything. And now that we are moving towards more 5G, 6G scenarios, we had to modify it a little bit to try to integrate it in these new architectures. So we are currently working on the integration. For now, for example, we are using these Teltonika Root X50 industrial 5G routers that are, well, very out-of-the-box solutions with high speed and data heavy applications, that we are using them in production environments to test that everything is working well with the IoT connector and these scenarios. And facing this integration and this evolution of the product itself, of the IoT connector itself, we are also experimenting the, let's say, embed way, not having both devices like the router and then the IoT connector, but also have a complete integrated solution. So we are using Ketel RM 520 modems. That would be our custom platform for experimental environments. Obviously, with this, we have less performance. It is more unstable for now, but it gives us more flexibility to do different things and to try to see what we are sorry, to see the different research lines we are thinking of. So this will be the platform that we are developing in these projects, and we hope we will have a solution, complete solution soon, that can be integrated and located everywhere. As you can see, this is a little bit constrained, but that's the idea. This is at the end the far edge, so we won't have a lot of computing power, but we will have the flexibility to run their different virtualization virtualized network functions and different microservices that will help to accelerate and optimize all the processes in the fields I've been talking about. So that would be regarding the projects and the far edge 5G plus device. And then I will briefly go through the privacy and security stuff, let's say, we are doing or we are starting to research in. For example, the idea is, this is the ideas we have to evolve our privacy and security platform. For example, in first stage, let's say this is our first steps, let's say, conceptions and ideas on expanding this privacy and security platform towards the post-quantum cryptography, center on the self-sovereign identity management and authentication and authorization. So we can have constrained IoT and edge devices, and with the wallets and everything to demonstrate in real pilots. So our idea maintains our line that we are working with in these constrained environments with edge devices. And we are just starting to consider some post-quantum cryptography schemes, for example, the crystals, both Kyber and Dilithium, Sphinx Plus, and Open Quantum Safe. As I mentioned, we are just starting to think about this. So our earliest, let's say, we are planning to start working on this between past Q3 or Q4, probably by the end of the year, to start working more focus on this. But for now, we are doing like all the research, and we are considering, for example, in this case, the most appropriate schemes, or what are the most adequate schemes for our use cases. Then we are also researching in security and trust protocols for these environments, and also we are thinking on providing different kits to expand, let's say, existing applications. For example, self-sovereign identity and verifiable credentials, also the use of NFTs and another kind of tokens on different blockchains. Also the possibility to extend applications with holistic capabilities for these NFT or SSI kits. Also, the possibility to expand RNAs, the existing applications with zero trust storage and privacy preserving data sharing, that it's more aligned with, let's say, more aligned with the things we actually have right now. And also this IDP kit that offer everything together, and it works with Web2 access management tools, and also with OpenID Connect. Also, this is just starting right now. We are starting to work in this joint venture called QuanticSet Security, in which the idea is that there will be an innovative cybersecurity chip design and customization center here in Murcia. Right now, it is on the development phase, but the idea is to construct here a facility to reduce the idea. This is aligned with the European Union dependence on semiconductor manufacturing, and the idea is to implement advanced secure microchips. And this facility, in which OdinS will collaborate, as it will be part of the consortium, will have a focus on the chip customization, the RISC-V development, also to provide this certification system for the chips, the securing of the microcontrollers to quantum, let's say, algorithms and attacks, and also the innovation that is inherent to these kind of facilities to improve the device security. And with this, we also have, some other things that I wanted to mention. We are working also on these trusted data spaces and knowledge graph representation, as I said. We are also working in different initiatives, and we are aligned with the specification of Data Spaces Business Alliance, that it's a joint initiative from FIWare, GaiaX, BDVA, and IDSA. We also work in the implementation of core building technologies for these things I've been mentioning, regarding, for example, data collection and data gathering with, for example, NG-SILD, with smart data models, and with IDS connectors, in which we work in different working groups and we participate in all this. And at the end, the objectives are to solve this digital twin data interoperability, the semantic interoperability defined in the ISO directives. And we also collaborate in the European interoperability framework for the creation of standard APIs. So this would be the wrap up of our future plans for the privacy and security platform, and the different, let's say, the different components of it and what we are thinking on doing. As I said, especially the 5G, the beyond 5G and 6G projects are more a real thing right now, because we are right now working on them and participating in those projects. And this privacy and security part is our future plans for probably the end of this year to start working on this. And we also have we will have some projects starting to work with these technologies by next year. So that's what we are now starting to research on these things and start to plan everything ahead. And well, that would be all.